Hi, hello, how are you guys doing? So yeah, remember when I said I had some plans on some weird ass, I don't know, video series and whatever. So yeah, this is how we're gonna do stuff today. I'm gonna create a new Steam account and I'm gonna try to get from 750 elo all the way up to 2000. And along the way, I'll probably try commentating on what I'm doing, what I'm thinking. I'll try to be as instructive as possible. And maybe you can learn something, and maybe I can learn something. I'll see if I find that it's necessary. I'll probably check my replays to see if is there any big mistake that I want to correct, anything that I want to pass forward. How is my process on actually getting better at the game, and hopefully you guys can learn something as well. So yeah, we're gonna hop on to the next account. I don't have any skins there. I won't be able to be Princess Bubblegum anymore. That's sad. Anyways, see you there. So here I am on the lobby waiting for stuff. So first things first, I'll have to play with the characters that are on the free week. Luckily I have Zario here if I really want one of my mains. I'll try to be as informative as I can. I'll play from the 10 level all the way to the low gold because I don't think I'll have any constructive things to say about those. But if I find anything along the way that I might want to highlight, I'll do that in the editing. Isaac from the future will take from here. But yeah. Hello, editing Isaac here. I'm from the future, look at that. Anyway, there were some matches that I really wanted to highlight, some of them opponent mistakes and some of them my mistakes. The first glaring issue that I saw with these persons playing is that they were using a lot of SIGs. And I wanted to highlight, not to humiliate them or anything like that, but because it made my job a lot easier. But I really wanted to highlight this match because many people have problems with people using a lot of SIGs. And the thing here is that you can see that I'm trying to space out and wait for them to miss the SIGs, not doing much, using a toss here and there. And you're gonna see that as soon as I can get their weapons out of their hand, I'm gonna go for the kill as quickly and as soon as possible. And I wanted to point this out because as people have difficulties with this, I really want to highlight how it's just a change in pace that you need to deal with SIG spamming properly. And I'm pretty sure this person is just not experienced enough to go for some strings, so that's why they're using SIGs, because the hitbox is a lot bigger. And you can see that now I am aggressing as much as I can to finish the stock as soon as possible. Now they're unarmed, and I can go for my usual aggressive play style, because when they were spamming, I was just waiting and punishing. And I want you to keep that in mind. If someone is using a lot of SIGs, you don't need to keep tossing yourself inside their SIGs and getting frustrated. You can just change your pace, go a little slower. It's just a matter of you adapting to your opponent play style. So this is why I wanted to highlight this match in particular. And you're gonna see that it's gonna end pretty soon, because they just keep getting punished by exposing themselves too much. That's the trade-off of signatures. The bigger the hitbox, the slower the attack is, generally. So be sure you're gonna hit those signatures when you toss them out. The second match that I want to highlight is this against this Diana player, because there were no big glaring issues that made them lose. It's just that some small little things that they could tweak that would make them a lot stronger, especially against an aggressive player like me. The first thing that I want to point out is that the matchup between blasters and gauntlets, it's not favorable for the blaster player. And right here, in this moment, you could see that they just got a little careless, got tossed out of the stage, and because they panicked and used their recovery a little too soon, I could just eat that right up and take the stock. Other than that, I don't think there was nothing wrong with the way they were playing. I just think that if you're gonna get tossed out of the stage, you should be careful. Don't waste your options too quickly. Wait to see what your opponent is gonna do to defend the ledge. And in this case, they just used their recovery a little too fast, and it cost them basically the stock and probably the whole match, because now I just have the momentum. And right here, again, I got their recovery again. I said again 2 times, whatever. The point is that when they're feeling threatened, they're using their recovery, their options way too quickly. And that can really cost them a whole lot. And now I guess they're a little frustrated and they're using a little more SIGs, or maybe they're just trying to have fun, I don't know. The point is that there were no glaring issues with the way they played. Other than the fact that they are using their options too quickly, even SD in this case. The third highlight of the day, it's actually a mistake from me this time, which is I got caught in a weird ass loop where I was just getting kicked again and again by this Mordex player on the scythe. He was just sidelighting and backdashing and sidelighting and backdashing, and I was getting myself caught in this loop. You're gonna see right soon what I mean. But my point is that it's okay if you get caught yourself on these loops sometimes. You just need to realize the problem, find what's going on, and tweak it. But I really wanted to highlight this match because this Mordex player, they were playing nice. They were a little too slow on their reaction times, nothing too crazy. But I really wanted to highlight my fault here for just, even though I had an aggressive, explosive weapon like gauntlets to grab a read and then just deal lots and lots of damage and lots of damage on top of another. But you're gonna see right now that for some reason I'm trying to approach this guy and I can't, and I'm getting tossed away and then again, and he backdashes and he attacks me once, and then he backdashes and he attacks me once, and I can't get the read. And I was trying something, but instead of changing my playstyle, I was just doing the same thing, tossing myself over and over. And at some point I needed to just stop and think, what am I doing wrong? Why am I getting this? And then when he did this double sidelight right there, I think I finally figured out what was going on. So I changed right away to the bow so I can approach from further, like that, so I don't get hit by their sidelight anymore. It doesn't need to be a big change like this, but it was a big change that helped me. Now I just tossed my weapon. What the fuck are you doing, Isaac? Why did you toss your weapon away? That's a thing that I should say. Be careful when you toss your weapon to approach. If you miss, it's very probable that your opponent is gonna get the advantage because they have more range now. But I really wanted just to point this thing out. Mordex was playing fine. the reaction times are a little slower. That just comes with practice. Just need to practice a little more, but they're on the right way. And they need to learn more advanced side stuff, because they were just sidelighting and repeating, and now I die because I don't know what the fuck was that neutral sig, but yeah, I guess everyone makes mistakes. But yeah, nothing too glaring from Mordex, more glaring for me, so I want to keep this to myself, not to undermine the glaring problem, but I think the thing that I want to take away from this is that I really need to realize what's wrong a lot quicker. And it's not a matter of just needing some big change, something like a change of pace, a change of weapon, or just stopping and breathing a little so I can find what's wrong and trying something different to see what's up. It's basically enough for these kinds of things. And this match takes a lot longer than expected because of this, because I kept getting tossed around here and there because of those things. And that's the thing. I found my glaring problem and I worked on it. I just didn't let it get to me and make me get frustrated. Don't bash yourself for your mistakes. Work on them. Next match I want to talk about is about punishing your opponent's mistakes and getting careless and underestimating your opponent. And this first stock, it goes to my opponent's side. It wasn't a. You can see that I'm keeping aggression, and then I realized my opponent is using a lot of SIGs right there when I think, and now instead of going to my usual spacing playstyle, grabbing a bow, maybe playing a little more defensive, I underestimate them because they're using it very obviously the SIGs, and then I get careless, and then my opponent takes my first stock. So you should never underestimate your opponent. The match is never over as soon as it starts, and you should always respect them, even if that means that, even if they're like 700, 800 elo below what you are. You should never underestimate your opponents. And then I think that's the most glaring issue with this match by me. Other than that, my opponent is using a lot of SIGs, same as the other thing, and I'm getting caught in here and there on some SIGs, but then I get into the rhythm and getting some reads, just punishing opponent mistakes, and back to Brawlhalla 101. So what I want you to take from this is that no matter how weird your opponent is playing, no matter how your first gut to roll, how does one pronounce that word? Whatever. Your first gut thought about them, you shouldn't just go on that. Even if your opponent is doing something very that your first thought is something despisable, like, ugh, why are they playing like this? You should respect them. You don't know if they're doing that on purpose. You don't know if they're just having fun. You don't know if they're trying to throw you. You should play as if it's your life depended on it, if your elo depends on it, because it does. The last match I want to highlight today is against this Nyx player. It's probably the strongest player I faced today, but they committed the same mistake as the first one right here, where they went too low for some attack and they used their options a little too quickly. So I just ate the recovery and got the stock. Other than this, I think their playing is pretty solid, and maybe if they worked a little more on their movement, because they don't dash a lot, so it made me a little more active than them in the stage control. And the other thing is that they probably didn't know the matchup against gauntlets, so I was just grabbing bigger and bigger strings because they didn't know when to dodge or how to dodge or mix up their dodges. So they were spot dodging a lot, and sometimes dodging towards the stage which made me a little more controlative of their movement. And I want to commend them for not leaving the match, as many of players did, because they were trying to learn something from someone who were playing stronger than them in this particular match. And Another thing that I wanted to point out, very basic this one, is just that be careful when you aggress with someone who's a little more experienced than you. Because they were going out off stage and going very strongly off stage, and they didn't know many of the options that you have. They were just going for the ground pound and then there, not mixing up much movement or dodging at all. Other than that, they were doing a pretty great job. Hi, I just finished the segment from silver to gold, and now I'd like to collect my thoughts and say what I thought as a whole before I go to editing. I mean, you probably had other commentary coming on from me from the future. Editing is weird. Anyways, what I gathered and what I want to talk about on this video already is that many of these players are already on a great way towards becoming amazing players. The only thing that I would say that they lack is some of them lack a little bit of movement, so they're a little easier to read. Others lack the foresight of aggression, because sometimes I was trying to keep aggression to see how they would react, and they would just panic, spam their recoveries out of the stage and get their recoveries eaten or stuff like that. But overall, every single one of these players is already on a great way towards success, so I hope I find them on Platinum and Diamond soon. But for now, I'm gonna finish recording, so I think I need to do an outro as well. I don't know, being a YouTuber is hard. So thank you very much for watching. Next episode I'll probably try. Since that's loud. Next episode I'll try coming right back from where I stopped. So I'll try to go all the way until Platinum. And I think next episode is gonna have a lot more content in it, because everyone who plays Brawlhalla knows that the hard place to get out of is the gold zone. So that's what I'm gonna try to focus. But today I just wanted to make an introduction to the new series and a little bit of insight on what I aim to. And overall, just checking how is the waters down there. I was kind of surprised since I didn't have to start from 750. I just started on 1200, so that's a little different as well. But anyways, by the way, I changed to Zario because I think I thought in the middle of the match that if I were to use gauntlets, it would be a little more challenging for my opponents to deal with aggression and not bust their dodges. Many of them were actually mixing their dodges up, so that's amazing already. And I'll let Isaac from the past future take precedence over here. Anyways, thank you guys very much for watching, and I hope to see you on the next video. I hope you like this one. This is a quick... Oh yeah, subscribe. Look at the graph. Are you guys looking at the graph? You need to look at the graph. Anyways, see ya.